Hi, welcome to Thunder Lakes. I'm Micah, your friendly neighborhood bow tech, and today we're going to talk about quivers. Quivers are something that generally gets very little attention. They're very underrated. There's so much you can do with your quiver as far as how you place it on your bow, whether you like to shoot with it on or off, or there's a lot to them. Quiver doesn't have to be a single function tool. Yeah, that's the thing that holds my arrows. Some quivers actually help with vibration and noise. Some quivers actually hurt with that. So we got a whole selection here from the cheapest to more expensive, and all of them have different features, but all of them have something that I really like about them. These are probably my 6 favorite quivers, and then one of my favorite quiver devices also. So let's just dive right into it. First up, we're gonna go with the cheapest one I've got. This is from 30-06. It's called the INDEE. It's a simple little lever lock, easy to use quiver that mounts to your bow, slides on and off. It's got a few different mounting positions for it, so you can kind of get a little bit of adjustment as to where it sits on your bow, and we'll get more into that later as we look at some of the accessories over here. But bang for the buck, it's a really hard quiver to beat. Works well, it's well made, very solid little quiver. A little 5-arrow, big fan of the 5-arrow. They also made it so that it's very easy to quietly remove your arrows. Being a price point quiver, it is mostly made out of polymer plastic. It does have the rubber arrow holders, and it has a pretty good dense foam top. But like I said, it is one of the most price-friendly ones. This is probably my favorite replacement quiver for a crossbow, just because of its ultra compact size. It's really lightweight, doesn't add a lot. The lock on it is really good, and it does hold it steady so it doesn't vibrate and doesn't add a lot of noise. El Cheapo quiver, that's a really great way to go. Moving up the line, once again, 30-06. These guys just make so much stuff that's really good bang for the buck. They got their slammer. It's another 5-arrow. It has carbon rods, much more range of adjustment. It does have dual arrow holders. So if you're a guy that likes to shoot mechanical broadheads, it's a really good way to go. It's got the rubber liner up in the lid instead of foam. So it holds your arrow, your hood on it covers your broadheads. It's a really good way to go. It's still quite reasonable. One of the nice things I like about this is the mounting bracket. It's just a nice simple twist lock into place. It holds very good. And 30-06 realized, yeah, okay, well, this could be a part that breaks, so they throw a second one in here. They also give you a tree accessory hook. If you're a guy that doesn't like to hunt with your quiver on, you put your arrow on your bow and you want to take your quiver off. It's got that, and it has a nice loop on the top. This is probably one of my favorite and more popular hunting quivers, just because it's super simple. It's still very affordable, very price friendly. If you're a guy that your quiver is basically just on your bow to hold your arrows to get you to the tree stand, it's a really, really good way to go. You can move up the line, the CBE Tactic 5. Love this quiver. I ran this quiver for, I don't know, 6-8 years. My rig, it's got a lot of really good features. It's very lightweight. The high density foam in there is pretty good. It works well with some mechanical broadheads, but if I remember right, I wound up cutting my foam down because I was running a lot of different mechanicals at the time and some fixed blades, and I think I wound up pulling my foam out, cutting it down. This right here is a really durable quiver. I ran it for 6-8 years, and I think I gave it to my daughter or put it on a friend's bow or something. CBE, they make good stuff. One of the things I do love about this quiver is it's extremely quiet on a bow. It might be one of the quivers that actually helps quiet a bow down, absorb some of the vibration just the way it's built. I don't think it was intended to do that, but it seems to do that, and it does a good job of it. Keep going up the hill. Quivers don't have to be a single function deal. A quiver can have this added features to it that really make it a lot more usable. This Trophy Ridge Hex Light is one of them. I'm gonna pop it out of the box real quick. If I can do this without tearing the box all to shreds, I'll be happy. This is a really cool quiver. I discovered these when they first came out. It wasn't this exact version when they first came out with it. They had a different one that was a little more basic. Not the friendliest package on the world for a guy that doesn't want to destroy the box, but so you'll notice on there it says it comes with dual hood lights, not headlights, but it does. It comes with lights. It has an extra set of gripper here, so if you want to run the micro diameter arrows, it'll still grip them, or if you run standards, you can run those with it, and I'll take care of that too. Once again, carbon rods, very adjustable, has a nice loop to hold it. It's kind of a medium weight. It's definitely a beefier quiver. It has a really nice mount to it. It's very adjustable. You can get it sucked right up tight to your bow. It has a standard Trophy Ridge quiver lock, which these generally work very well. Sometimes the little slide breaks on them, but they still lock in really solid even without using the slide, so I don't hold that too much against them. Now, the feature that makes this thing kind of special is it's got 2 buttons up here. You can see the LEDs on the top. There's one down inside. So when this is mounted on your bow, you hit that. It's dark 30 in the morning. You're trying to get your stuff ready in your tree stand. You can get your arrow out without bumping it. You got a little bit of light to see with. It's a nice green light, so it doesn't scare game if there happens to be something somewhat in the area. And you can see well enough. You know, if you look at my hand on the back side, you'll be able to see well enough to get it in your rest and get it hooked to your D-loop. That's a really nice feature. The other set of lights is right here on the front. And these are actually pretty bright in a lower light condition, like when you're walking to your tree stand or you're walking out from hunting in the evening. These light up really bright and work as a flashlight that's mounted to your bow. How many times I've gone to a tree stand and realized once I got to the woods that I'd left my flashlight at home on my counter. I think it's just a really cool feature. It's a really good quality quiver. It's all skeletonized, which helps save weight, but it's still a thick, beefy. I mean, I'm putting a lot of pressure on it. This is a solid quiver. Also, it just has the point cups, the rubber point cups up in here. So it's a very good quiver if you're into mechanical broadheads. It is one of my favorites because it has the built-in lights. You might think it's silly, but I'm here to tell you, a little extra light, something that you're not gonna forget. Or if you forget it, you kind of done hunting anyway because your arrows are in it. I don't think I've ever gotten to the woods and forgotten my arrows. Release maybe, but not the arrows. Another quiver that I really like is this one from Tree Limb. Tree Limb makes a good variety of quivers. I picked this one. This is one of their Pro Series quivers. You might look at this and say, yeah, it looks very similar to one that's on a famous maker bow that we sell, a lot like the Matthews. Well, that's because this is the guy that designed that quiver for Matthews. He designed the arrow web. I don't know what the deal was, but Matthews now makes it. I know that when they first came out, he was making it for Matthews. But this is a nice, simple design, really well-made quiver. It has a really good positive lock, very similar to what the arrow web uses to get it in there. It's a metal frame quiver. It's part of why it's a little bit more expensive. He designed these tabs so that they will work for any size arrow, and they have a nice feel, and they do unlock the arrow very well. He used a broadhead style, so it will hold whatever kind of broadhead you want in whatever direction you want, and it will also work well with mechanicals or fixed blades. It has a built-in metal loop. It's a little bit tight, but you know, most of your accessory hooks, it would slide right on there. You don't need it flopping and blowing around. It's not a huge loop. It's not a lot of room, but it's adequate room. One of the things I like about this, a lot of guys like the Matthews Arrow Web because it mounts high up on the bow. Matthews has that special mounting point up there that works with their quivers that's high up on the bow. Gets this thing right up here, right even with the top of your top limb, and allows your arrows to be pretty much covered by the length of your bow, so you don't have a bunch of arrow hanging out one end. You can do that with this. They also make, Tree Limb makes this accessory here, and I've got the universal kits here that your quiver mounts onto it, and it will mount in an upper quiver mount hole on virtually any bow out there. I don't have the one. This is the triangle, which is used by most of them. It'll work on a lot of the bow techs. It'll work on a lot of the elites, obsessions, most of your basic bows. It'll cover. If not, he's got them for every bow manufacturer out there. It's just this little simple piece that bolts to the bow. Then it gives you adjustability as far as how tight up against the bow you want. This will work with virtually any quiver. It doesn't have to be one of his quivers. It works with the 30-06 INDEE, with the CBE Tactic, or even the REDLINE over here. I got the REDLINE quiver out. That's the quiver I'm currently using. I really like it. I am not a heavy bow guy. I don't want a ton of weight on my bow. I want to keep things light. I'm old, I'm cranky, I don't like walking out to the woods all the time, and I certainly don't need a really heavy rig going in and out. But there's some things I require from my quiver. I require that they be lightweight, one that I can use with fixed door mechanicals. They have little cups in the end that are set up to take the tip of the arrow. I've been using them with multiple different kinds of mechanicals, and they don't deploy or cause problems with my mechanicals while I'm carrying them out there. This has a very long range of adjustability. I shoot a 33-inch axle to axle bow. I like to have my quiver and arrows all the way up at the top. I have a longer draw length, so I'm shooting 30+ inch arrows, and I want everything inside the limbs of my bow. It makes it very easy for me to do that. It's very, very lightweight. It's all carbon fiber except for the rubber cap and cups, and the mounting hardware is aluminum. You start getting into solid carbon fiber stuff, the price goes up. This is one of the more expensive quivers I have. I really like it though. It's very slick. I have this thing sucked up tight. When I first put it on my bow, the first time I went to shoot it, it gave me a problem because I had it sucked up too tight to the bow, and my upper limbs, when they deflected, were actually catching the corner of it, so I had to move it out. But it's very tight to my bow, and I really like the way it sits and how it works. It's the REDLINE RL1 6 arrow. They also have a 4 arrow version of it. Really great quiver. I mean, that's a basic rundown on the quivers. There's a lot of other things out there that go, you know, some people want really high volume quivers that hold a lot of arrows. Some of these quivers can do that. I do know that the 30-06 INDEE, there has been times where we have taken these out, used the slots in between, and you can poke some more holes up here with a hot iron. And for a field point quiver, you can get 10 in here. They do start to get awful sticky to get the inside ones in and out. Say you were at a 3D shoot and you didn't want to carry a separate quiver, but you wanted to take a few extra arrows. Those slots are available. You can use them. Like I said, they're not the easiest in the world to use, but they do work. It's just a quick rundown on quivers, what's available, what some of the features of them are, what they do differently. There's a quality difference between a solid carbon and a metal frame quiver. Some of the quality features are going to cost you more money, but really quivers are great because you can really tailor them to your bow. Most of these come in multiple color options, camo patterns, just a really great way to put a little extra of what you want into your bow, or to really tailor your bow to fit your needs. Stop in, check them out, talk to me. We're here Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Talk to me, talk to Eddie. Any of the guys can kind of help you out, but Eddie and I can really help you out with all the different stuff with the quivers, you know, what's going to work well with what bow. You know, we've been doing this a while, so we kind of know what works well on each bow, and we'll hook you up with your best bet.